Yes. So we are discussing about the performance related transaction code. Performance means system performance. So why we are checking only SAP system performance? So we are the administrators for SAP systems. So we can do installations, configurations, and we have to provide the support. Support means, so we need to check if any users are having login issues, if any users are unable to log in, if they are having some issues, we are the responsible persons to take care of everything, right? So that's the thing here happening. So we need to take care of the system. So coming to the performance related, sometimes we may get the request saying that please enable the trace or please check the system performance. How is the system performance and everything? Sometimes system is slow, very slow. We need to check why the system is very slow here. So those things we have to check now. So how to check then? How to check them? You should know the transaction codes, right? So here to check the first tracing, ST01 is the transaction code, which is like system trace. So if we go to the ST01 transaction code, ST01 transaction code, so suppose if the users are having some authorization error, then you can check the authorization. Suppose some users are having access to the DB access, some RFC connections having issues. RFC connection is failing, but we are not sure what is happening. Some HTTP calls, some what not sure what is happening in the system. So we don't have any log. You have checked in the work directory. You have checked in the work directory. Those work directory logs also not enough. Those work directory logs also not enough to troubleshoot it. So then in this case, what we have to do? Then we need to enable the trace. We have to enable the trace. Then I switched on the trace then. So then now I will ask user to reproduce it. What is having issue? So what is the issue he is having? Maybe he is having some access to the SM20. Then I will go SM20. I will check it. I will reproduce the issue. Then the error comes, right? The error comes now. So maybe some PA30. So that's like some master data, HR master data, the salaries related to master data, everything, bank statements, everything, the HR team, they will maintain in the SAP system, kind of payrolls. What is the gross and what is the net payroll, everything they will maintain in the HR team, they will maintain it here, right? So here I am having some issues. In this case, they will request basis team to enable the trace. Then I have enabled the trace. Then I will switch off the trace of the trace. Then I can perform the investigation. I can perform the investigation what happened in my user case, so that the errors will be displayed here. The logs will be displayed here. So currently we don't have any errors here. So that's the reason. So time can also check the timelines here. We don't have any access error logs here. So that so nothing is displayed here. Zero logs. There are no logs. So what we can do here, so we can enable all the trace, we can enable it here. We can tomorrow, we can turn off and see are there any errors are reporting in the system or not. This way, we can find out what's happening with the system. What's happening with the system. We can also save the trace, something like that. We can also save this one. So no records currently. So that's the reason nothing is displaying. So this ST01 is for the tracing functionality, which means in your system, in your SAP system, so normally all the logs will be tracked under the work directory. That we know, right? Everybody knows. If you go to the work directory, here you can see all the logs will be available in the work directory. We can review the logs and we can troubleshoot it. Okay, that is fine. So we all are okay that one. So, but in the logs, nothing is displaying related user related access related errors. You checked the ST22, SM21, some logs you checked it, then you don't see more logs. Now you need to check the logs. Then you can go in the system, you can switch on the trace, then trace on the trace, then just to ask user to reproduce the issue. then he will get the error messages and everything. Then you can turn off the trace. Then you can do the analysis, what's happening with the user. Maybe username, you can put star, not only one user, right? Multiple users, they will log in. Then you will get the multiple. Now you want to specific user, then you can put the user, click on the trace. Here the trace will be displayed. So like that, we can collect the some trace. What type of trace here? Authorization, kernel, some RFC calls, HTTP calls, APC. So all these calls, RFC. RFC means in SM59, one RFC destination is failing. Those are the RFC calls. So HTTP calls, some browser related, some tables, DB access, some kernel related. So yes, we have functionality, some authorization related. All these things we can check it out. Then we can track the logs here. This way we can enable the tracing. Let me enable it. Tomorrow we will collect the more logs. Then keep it like this. Then you will get the more logs after some time. Okay. So this is the ST01. Rare cases we will use this transaction code, not daily, rare cases. Okay. So the next one is the ST02 tune summary. Okay. Tune summary. Here we can see the buffers, hit ratio, buffers and hit ratio, buffers and hit ratio, swaps, so free space, memory, SAP memory areas, all these things we can see in ST02. So what is mean by buffers, sir? So if we go to ST02 transaction code, here we can see the buffers. So ST02 buffers we can see. So how many buffers we have? So what is the hit ratio? So what is mean by hit plus ratio? Hit ratio. Ratio means we know percentage. What is mean by hit ratio here? Hit ratio means normally this buffers concept is like, so in SAP system, so this is our SAP architecture, right? So presentation layer, SAP layer, DB layer, right? So we have buffers in the SAP system. Normally we have the buffers in the SAP system. So buffers, right? So for normally buffers means temporary storage area. Temporary storage area, some buffers here we have available. Some data, frequented accessed data will be stored in the buffer. So frequently, suppose frequently some caches in the browser level, frequently you are accessing some go YouTube and everything, right? It will in the browser level, if you go cache, there the frequented access data will be stored into the caches, right? Same way here in SAP level, the frequented, always some data, some people, some transactions will access, right? Those data will be stored into the buffers. It's called the buffers. We will call it as the buffers. So the user will come to the dispatcher. Maybe we'll put the different way. We'll put the dispatcher. So whenever user wants to access some HR data or something, sales data, finance data, the first request to go, whenever user click on the login button, it will go to the SAP. In the SAP level, so the SAP level user authentication, everything is done. Then it is assigned to the one work process. Then it will go to the work process. The work process, whatever the request you are putting, that will check in the buffers first. User context buffers, it will check the buffers first. So if data is available here, then it will give the response back to the user. Okay, you will get the results immediately. If it is hitting the buffer, right? Your request is hitting the buffer. In case data not exist here, then the request will directly go to the database level. It will pull the data from database level. Then it will give the response back to the user. While giving the response back to the here it will store the data. Then same data will give the response to the user. So in this case, it is not hitting the buffer. It is directly going to the DB level. So DB level. So which means hitting the buffer and again going to the buffer, which means this time is taking some time. Sometimes that is the reason we may get some slowness. When you execute the transaction code, after some time you will get the response from the system. Why? Because it is going to the directly going to the database level, this getting the data. Normally, this happens after restart of the system, or suppose if you are using the new transaction code, that time it will take some time. Suppose example, if you see here, so this is the transaction, my go. I'm using this transaction. If we click it, so it see here, it is taking some time. See here, goods movement, it's taking some time. See, still I did not get the response. Why? Because no one used this transaction till now in our system. It's checked in the buffer. It is going to the database level. It will check in the database level. Then the orders, the purchase order related information, the slip is displayed here, right? It's a functional transaction code, sales related transaction code. You don't need to worry. So this transaction, normally basis transaction, we will use it, then we will get the immediate response. So now we got the response, right? So it's taken some time, right? So maybe the response time is 391 milliseconds it's taken, right? Response time, which means it's went to the buffers. There is no data. Then it went to the database level. Here it checked the database tables and everything. Then the response displayed here. While displaying the page here, the data will store the data into the buffer. Then it will show the results to you, right? Same way. So now one time I used it. If I execute same transaction code here, immediately you got the response. Sir, how? First time it took this some time, right? Now how? Now how? So now how it's got immediate response, which means already the first time when you use it, there is no data. It will go and it will pick up the data here, database level. Then it will store the one copy of data in the buffer. Then immediately it will give the response to you. Next time when you access the similar transaction code, then it will get the data from buffer. Then it will give the response to you, which means the request, your request is not directly going to the database level always. If it is always going to the database means it's not hitting the buffers, which means your performance is very bad. All the requests are going to the database level means your performance is very bad. So it means we need to check why data not storing into the buffers. These are the temporary storage buffers, right? It will, first of all, it will check the buffers in the data, then it will decrease the load. Why? Because the request directly going to the database level means it will take some time. Why? Because it should check in the buffer, then buffer to here. So it's 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Suppose data is there in the itself, it will check here. Okay, data is there. In the immediately you will get the response, right? So this is the slowness. First time when you access anything, it may take some time. See here, immediately you will get the response. Previously, it's loaded for some time, some fraction of seconds, milliseconds, seconds. It's loaded, right? Now see, immediately you got the results. Why? Means the data storing here. Suppose if I access one more transaction code VL02N, see here, this is taking some time. I think we already accessed it, I guess. That's why the data is there in the buffer. We got it. Now again, you access the train transaction code, you will get the immediate results. There is no buffer, right? So if you access so some sales related, why? Because sales related transaction codes take longer time. Our basis related, immediately you will get the results. System is very fast nowadays. You can see. If you go to the SMLG, if you see the response time, it's very fast. Response time is very fast. So which means system is fast. But some transaction codes taking long time. Why? Because the data not exist. That is no issue. Why? Because the buffers are filled. If we go to the ST02 tune summary, the buffers exist. See here, previously we have 0. Now swaps are occurred here. Swaps are occurred. So hit ratio. What is mean by hit ratio means? What is mean by hit ratio means the request which are hitting the buffers. So Here programs, all the programs will store into the program buffer. CUA buffers will CUA, calendars, screens, OTR, tables, buffers, all this will store into the buffer. So normally the buffers hit ratio should be 95 plus percentage. If the buffer hit ratio 95 plus, then your system is very excellent performance, very speed. If below, then you have some issues in the performance side, you have the issues. So that may have the issues here, right? So that is the issue. So every buffer, you have the multiple buffers, name tab buffer, programs buffer, CUA buffer, screen buffer, calendar buffer, all the buffers we have. Along with we have the memory also. What is the maximum memory and current usage memory, in memory, physical memory, all the details we have here. So what is the usage here, all the details here also, hit ratio, how much allocation KB, how much free space. Here free space is very less here, 14 KB only, right? 0.62% free space here. So what happens are, the buffers does not have, suppose the buffers are filling, each buffer there is a space, there is a size. So what happens? It will pour, it will overflow. So if the buffers does not have any space, then it will overflow, it will create the swaps. The swaps are occurring means the buffer does not have the enough free space. So this overflow. So swaps means when the swaps occurs, it's a very important question. In the system, when the swaps occurs, when the buffers does not have enough free space, then you will get the swaps. So in this case, we need to check why, what is filled in the CUA buffer. So when you restart it, it will come to green status. Why? Because after the restart, all the buffers will be flushed out. Why? Because these are the temporary storage area. So if you observe on the previous days and this week, multiple times we did the restart. After the restart, when you execute the transaction code, it is slow. Sometimes it's very slow. Then after that, when you execute the again, it will be fast. Why? Means data is loading into the buffers. That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason. So these are the buffers. Sir, how can I check why these CUA buffers are filled? So how can I say means swaps are occurred? That's why CUA buffer is filled. So if you open this CUA buffer or just select it, click the detailed analysis or history. If you go to the history, then you will say what has been filled in the CUA buffer. So what's there? How many objects each day? How much data filled here? How much data filled here? You can see the all the details here. So hit ratio, all the details. You can get the all the details here. So how many free objects? So every day the objects are increasing. See here, 783, 793. So then tomorrow also it will increase it, right? If you restart it, means the data storing, the keep on accessing the system data is storing here. You can see the history of the system data buffer. Each buffer history you can see. Select the program buffer, you can see the history. So how the previous days here, what is the today's date here, all the things we can see in the buffers and swaps. You can also go to the detailed analysis. Detailed analysis, if you go, suppose you want to see the CUA buffer, then you see objects swapped 15, frames swapped 30, which means the swaps are occurred. So if you double click it, so or if you want to see what's there in the buffers, so these are the objects are there in the buffer. So these are the objects. These are the tables. These are the objects related data is there in the buffer. If the functional developers and functional team, they can take care. We cannot do anything. Just only either this is a less space. Either if you want to increase the buffer, we want to increase it. Why? Because so how much it is allocated? Only 3 KB allocated. So 3 KB used already. 2 KB already used. 3 KB is 13 KB only, right? 13 KB. We can start 13 KB, 0 point, I think. So it's very less KB. We want to increase it. If we go to the parameters, then there is a parameters for the buffers. See here, this is the parameter. Then select this parameter. Suppose you want to increase the buffer. What you can do? go to the RJ10, select this buffer, select this parameter, or if you select it, if you go directly, it will go to the RJ10 11 only. Then select this one, check. So it is a static or dynamic. Is it static parameter or dynamic parameter? Is it static parameter?
No change mode.
No change mode means it's a static parameter. If it is a change mode is there, it's a dynamic. Dynamically you can change it. There is no change mode, right? So we cannot change it here. So we have to go to the RJ10. Then if you are going to the RJ10 means that is the static parameter.
Static.
So you have to go to the buffers. You have to go to the buffers, extended maintenance, change it here. Your profile does not match the current profiles in use, so it's not matching. So what you have to do, maybe import the profiles from off active servers. So off active servers, go to the RJ1011. Why? Because sometimes our people may change in the OS level, they will not change in the SAP level, so we may get this type of issues. Now go to create the buffer, check. Now 3000 is there, the value is 3000 KB. Now I will make it 4000 KB. Just for example, I am giving. Okay, change it. Go back. Copy. 2 times copy. Save. Activate. Copy. Copy. Save. Activate. Just remember that word. Copy. Copy. Save. Activate. Then activate. Then the action is saved. So then activated. But if you want to affect, we need to restart the system. System restart is required here to affect the changes. So to restart it, check are there any users are connected. So maybe because we cannot connect it, few users are already using. So see here, Mahesh already logged in. Maybe we'll check the SAP level. Are there any other SAP users are connected? So here we have the users, basis users, then Koteshwar, CS Reddy. So these all are logged into the system. So the Koteshwar is checking in the ST22 dumps, not what he is checking here. ST22 dumps he is checking, right? So you changed the buffer. Now we'll do the restart. Maybe we'll inform, we'll put a message. We have the options, right? Why can't we take the risk? We'll inform to the users. What is the here? So hi, our users, or hi team, whatever it may be, hi team, our users. So we are going to restart the system in 5 minutes. So please save your, this is the best approach, right? This is the best approach to inform everyone. Why? Because you are restarting, the people will think like, okay, you are doing something. People look like, okay, system is not working well, something like that, right? You are putting the message. Then all users will get the message, this message. I think Chandra also got the message now, right? Chandra, got message? You will get the message in your screen now. So what we did is, so we got in ST02, we have some buffer space is very high. See here again it's increased, double it is increased, less space. Now we want to, we increase it to, we increased it actually. So we increased it. Then try to restart. So try to restart the system now. Try to restart the system. See, try to restart the system. We'll see. So I will restart only app server, not entire system. Just restarting app server, not entire system. I'm not restarting. Okay. So here, after the restart, the value will be affected. Now this will come to the green status. Now you can take snap. Maybe what is that? You can take a note of this one. CA buffer we increased it. So after the restart, this swaps will gone. After the restart, the swaps will gone. That is what we have to do now. So it is restarting now. Yes. See here, application server is shut down. So it is starting now. Oh, we have PST also, but not sure whether this will work. Okay, not a problem. Now we'll log in. You have to test it, experiment it. So now only BTC wait status. We have only 2 BTC and 6 6 dialog. Okay. Now log in. Can anyone guess now we will get the connection or not? We got the connection, right? Now we can log in. Now we can log in with the user. Okay. So now go to ST02. Now ST02. See now, it's gone, right? It's gone now. See here, CA buffer we increase it to the 4. Allocated KB is 4. Now see, all gone. Which swaps gone, buffers gone. So see here, it ratio all are previously. This is 100% calendar buffer. So all are full percentage, right? Now you see all gone, data gone, all free space, we have more free space. So nothing is there. So now we keep on accessing the data, keep on accessing the other transactions data, your buffers will fill now, right? See here, just you take a note of this percentage now 29, 30. If you're trying to access, if you again use the one transaction code, it may take some time again. See here, it's taking time. See here how much time it is taking. Why? Because it's checking in the buffer first time, there is no data, then it's going to the database level, it is giving the results to us, right? Again, if we go to the ST02, then see here, it is increased to the 20 to 54%. CA buffer also increased, right? You see, right? You are seeing now live. So how much it is increasing? This is fine. What about the remaining? So if you are keep on accessing the system, keep on using the system, the iteration ratio will increase it. But if you at the same time, if you are getting the swaps, means the buffer value is very slow. So then you need to investigate why. Right? Now you got it, right? How we are increasing the iteration ratio and everything. If you want to analysis, you have the detailed analysis menu, history, everything is available to check further. Right? So this is the ST02 transaction code to check the buffers tuning and iteration ratio. Sometimes users may complain saying that, sir, I am using the EVL02 transaction code. It is very slow. After 5 minutes, after 6 minutes, 7 minutes, we are getting the response. I'm not sure what is happening in the system. Can you please investigate it? So then immediately we have to go to the ST02 transaction code. So what's happening with my system? CI buffer also increased. So there is no swaps. So there is no issues with the buffers now. So first time he is asking, we'll ask them to use it again, then he will use. Okay, now it is very speed, sir. Why? What is the reason? So Basu, first time when after the restart, first time when you are accessing the any transaction, it may slow due to buffers will flush it out after the restart. So this is the ST02. So keep on accessing, the buffer iteration will increase. See here, previously 20, 50, now 71, which means, so it's okay. Somewhat it is hitting the buffer. Some requests are hitting the buffer. So it is coming. So if you keep on accessing, this will increase it. So normally it should be 95 plus, which means 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. In between the your buffer iteration is there, then your system response is excellent. If it is very low, then it's very bad. Response is very bad. Still our response is very bad. Why? Because it's below 90 only. So then you can see the response time. What is the response time now? So it's this is response time very less, 795 milliseconds it is responding. So if you keep on accessing the transaction codes, so the ratio, the data will come to the picture. The data will, everything will access SM51. So if you keep on accessing all the transaction code ST22, so swaps, buffers, so runtime errors, we have many runtime errors. You can see here, They are the runtime errors. So many runtime errors, DBSQL errors. So there is a illegal time difference errors. There are many things are there. So I think you guys are checking the dumps, investigating. That is the main priority as a basis consultant to checking the logs and everything. So logs, any critical errors? No. I think we have operating system call fail errors, some BTC program related errors. Okay. Now go to ST02. We used some buffers. Now check. So reach it to the 80. Fine. So just keep on accessing the data. The data will be filled into the buffers. So it won't take much time. Okay. This is the buffers tuning and buffers. Right. So this is the ST02 related transaction code. Okay. The next transaction code is for the ST. Any questions from anyone? Is it clear? We have seen already. So what happens if the buffers are reduced, slowness, everything?
Buffer clearing restart after it will be flushed off or after
Flushed out. Everything will be flushed. Whatever the data is there, it will be flushed out. It's a common.
I'm asking. No. I'm asking after restart. This restart buffers will be cleared, or after system log off, buffers will be cleared.
No. After you log off, after the user log off, the user memory will be cleared, but buffers will be the same. But when you restart, so all will be cleared, all will be flushed out. Flushed out means all will be deleted when you restart. Buffers are just a temporary storage area. Temporary storage area means you know that word, temporary, until SAP restarts. If you restart, everything will be flushed out.
Yeah, mostly we are not restart the servers, no?
Yeah. Real-time servers we won't restart it. That's why in the real-time servers you will see some buffers and everything. So maybe monthly once we will do the maintenance activities and everything, right? That time, out of the underlying issues, all will be fixed. All will be fixed. Underlying issues. That's why real-time systems are very fast, same as like our systems. So, but our systems are sometimes slow because of, so maybe we are multiple times we are restarting, doing the checks and everything, training systems. So you see, it's a non-production systems, right? So it's a natural means we are doing the training, we are learning. So we can restart it, not a problem. So yeah, so that's fine. Regarding that ST02. Coming to the ST03, shall I tell the one more transaction or you guys will practice?
Sir, one more thing here. We have extended the buffer memory like 2000 to 3000, right?
3000.
Is there any threshold like SAP standard? This much we need to have?
Actually, buffers automatically will adjust it based upon the memory we have, physical memory we have, how much RAM memory we have. So that how much memory we have, buffers will automatically adjust the memory. So sometimes we have the recommendations based upon the SAP kernel. There's a kernel version. Based on that, we have the recommendation to increase the buffers. So that time we have to increase the buffers. That time we have to change the parameter. There is no limit to change it, but depends upon our business scenario. We have to change all these parameters. So all these parameters we have to change it. Now there is nowadays a few customers they are using zero memory management, ZMM, which means if you change this parameter PHYS mem size, so if you change this parameter to suppose 19 GB, 10 GB, you no need to change all memory buffers related parameters. So automatically that will be adjusted. That is the parameter called the PHYS mem size. Remember this parameter. This is called the zero memory parameters. If you adjust it, so this is the available main memory for this. How much memory you are giving to the SAP. If you adjust this one, automatically buffers will adjust all the things and everything you want it to do. That is called the ZMM, zero memory management. So, but if you want to increase, it depends upon our business request. we can increase it. Otherwise, we can keep it like that, same as per the default. We can increase it, not a problem. Depends upon the who given these values. These values come as part of the SAP installations, right? We can keep it same default values. We can keep it. So, but if you want to increase, depends upon your scenario. You can increase it. How we increase it for the CUA? Same as like 4 KB we have given. Same as like we can increase it, not a problem. So it will use the SAP memory like 4 KB. It will use it. So we have the 19 mem 19 GB in the 19 GB. So remove just 4 KB. It will use. Nothing will happen, right? So that's why. So you can increase it that way. Any other questions from anyone?
Yesterday I tried an import. I'm getting the TP status error unknown.
Again.
Export is done. A remote client copy is done, but while I'm using that import export, I'm getting error in import. TP status error unknown.
Yeah, while importing, you are getting the error, right? So
yes.
Now let's see SCC8 while exporting. So normally you should not get these issues. We'll take one. We'll take normally here we will put the client number as well. Maybe we'll select the target group. There is no group open. We are not creating any group. Okay. Let's see. In select like ECP. So schedule as a background job. A 40 request number 40 generated. In NWD, after the snapshot restore, we have the client, right? Clients are there, no problem. Other clients. SCC3. All the clients.
Yeah, in 308, I'm using.
Yeah. Let's see. We have configured I reconfigured the STMS yesterday. Our next topic is the STMS. So it is exported today. Okay. Let's see. It is exported. So it is exported. Now we have done the export. This is exported 40. Which system ECP we selected, right? ECP try with a different client in ECP. 100 client all are using. Go to the SCC4. How many clients are there? We have n number of clients here. Okay, we'll go for 101. ECP 101. Maybe whether we have any users here. Let's check. No users. Maybe SAP star pass. Okay. This we can delete it. Now users think like delete the message. Now if you go SCC7, it's not generated by any client. 101. Where everything is 0. Okay. So within the system we are getting. So within the system we are getting. So which means within the system we are getting, why? Because this NWD ECP both are in the different versions, different products. So like NWD is the NetWeaver 7.5, EC is the ERP systems. That's why it's not attaching to that client, not attaching to that system. So not attaching that one. If you do within the system, suppose just you can do within the system SCC8, right? Maybe we'll try this approach. Select the same target system as the NWD, select it, okay, 001, schedule as a background job immediately. Then 41 selected. Same NWD we selected, right? So we'll see whether this is exported or not. So it's processing. Let's see. Analyzing the system. TP is the one of the process to OS level. This is the kernel file TP process. So what this TP will do, this TP will import import the transport request to OS level. This is the TP process. Okay. If something this TP process are corrupted or something, you may get the issues actually. So 1001 you exported, right? 001 exported. Let me log out ECP. Let me log out ECP and WD as well. ECP also let me log out. Okay. Go to the NWD system. 308, right? You have. Go to the 308. What is the user password? SAP service pass not working. What is the password?
Chandu.
You have any other users? Yeah, I think you have DDIC. Go to SCC7. Okay, client has not been generated by TP import. Go to SCC8. 308. So no restrictions. Nothing is there here. A logical system also have given something. Are there any co-files, data files generated here? Yes, sir. SAP trans co-files. 41 generated. Why we are getting SCC7? Client has not been generated by any data import. Technical information if you go. Okay, so leave it to me. I will fix today now. You can leave it to me. I will fix why this is happening. Why? Because it should not happen. I will fix this one. Meanwhile, what you can do, you can practice it today anytime. So I will fix this error. So you can practice the other transaction code.